And welcome back to the Infowars Money Bomb 2015. I'm your host, Joe Biggs, and riding shotgun with me in this segment is Jakari Jackson. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing, Joe? That was a funny day when you went out there and did that skit, because I actually went out with you guys. I was going to shoot a different report, and somehow I ended up down there. And it was just, no pun intended, a circus
Yeah, it was.
out there of people who became quite educated, just like you saw the guy in the video. He's like, you mean this isn't real food? I mean, well, if you consider silicone to
breast implant fillers,
food, yeah, I guess that is.
Yoga mats.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that there's, what is it? I said 10 ingredients in McDonald's fries. And literally, people, all you have to do is go to McDonald's.com and look at the ingredients. Mm-hmm. What is a French fry? You take a potato, you slice it into little sections, and you fry it in some canola oil.
Yeah.
That is it. Why are there 10 to 15 ingredients? That's how you know there's something wrong going on with your non-food. So, Jakari, we're here today. It's the Money Bomb. We've been here since, about 9 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I've been here, I guess, about 10:30. I came in a little bit later because I knew I was going to be here for a while.
So how do you think it's been going so far? Pretty stoked?
I think it's gone pretty well. Last I checked, I think we were about 453
or something. I saw
something like that. So,
yeah,
it's a pretty good haul so far. But we definitely encourage you guys to continue to send in your donations. I believe you have a donation number, which I don't have.
Well, yeah, if you want to call in and donate, the number is 888-253-3139. This will give you the ability to speak to someone over there at the building and donate. Help us at the Infowars studio, take it to the next level. Get the 400 million people that we're really trying to reach. There's Leanne McAdoo.
I think we should make that the thumbnail for the entire Money Bomb, because they keep showing that picture. Leanne at the...
That's like the community college kind of picture you see, like for the liberal...
It's like on a billboard.
Yeah.
It looks like a billboard picture.
It's definitely an iconic Infowars picture. That should be the next... calendar image for her, instead of holding the two guns, the Money Bomb photo.
Yes.
So what's something you'd want to get into, Jakari?
We talk about any and everything. I walked in and I noticed you had your guns out here, so I had to go and grab mine.
Hey, at Infowars, we are pro Second Amendment. I mean, there's no way around it, no ifs, ands, or buts. And speaking of guns, Head Down Rifles has been pretty much amazing since we've taken them on as a sponsor. These guys make really awesome rifles. And in case you don't know, you're just now tuning in, this rifle right here is a one-of-a-kind Triton 10 head-down rifle. It's got a custom paint job done to it, and it has Alex Jones' signature and mine as well. And it's really a sturdy, stable, light weapon. It goes for about $1,500 just like this. But on top of it, Georgia Optics is another sponsor that we have as well. If you go to the Infowars store, you can see all the different optics they have, the Trijicon VCOGs, the MROs, RMRs, all these different types of sights to go on your weapon, as well as G-Shock watches like I have on right here. And Jakari has one of his as well, a tan one.
Yes.
You can see that right there on the website that they have pulled up, the tan watch. Now, what's going to happen?
I was saying, don't forget about the auction.
Yeah, so what we're going to do right now, from 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time earlier today, we started the auction off, or the raffle, I should say, until the Money Bomb ends tomorrow. Now, if you give $1,000 or more, your name is automatically entered in for a chance to win this head-down rifle with the actual Georgia Optics sight that'll go on top. We'll have more information on that later as well. So I want to encourage you to donate. Help us out here at Infowars.com so Jakari Jackson and Josh Owens can go to Arkansas and interview Larry Nichols. And if you didn't see that documentary earlier, that was really powerful, really amazing. Great
Very
job.
Well made. By, I mean, I was there. Like he's trying to say a great job. I was there while Josh shot it and then came back and did the master edit. So I give the credit to Josh Owens on that one.
But, we do a lot of stuff. I like to go shooting. You spend a lot of time at gun ranges as well. You just recently bought a brand new Glock, didn't you?
Yeah.
And like the last caller from Croatia said earlier, people in America take that freedom that we have for granted. I think people should go out, go to gun shows. People are so scared. They're so paranoid about guns. Like, guns kill people. No, people kill.
I don't know, maybe they can get a shot of this desk. We have 3 guns on the desk, and
not one of them shot us.
No guns have jumped off the desk and shot us.
Is there a way to get an overshot real quick?
And I can assure you guys that at no point during this broadcast, is this magazine by itself going to load itself into this firearm, nor that one into that one, and then go on a mass shooting spree. That does not happen. That happens with people who have ill intent or people who are not properly trained. And, it is unfortunate that accidents happen, but do you ban a car every time there's a car accident? Of course not. And you're much more likely to be killed in a car accident going about your day-to-day business.
It's liberal logic. People always want to blame the tool and not blame the person. People don't ever want to hold the individual accountable for their actions. And that's what we keep seeing time and time again. Like you said, it takes a person with ill intent, ill will, someone who wants to do harm to do that. Now, regardless of the fact that the government comes in, they're trying to take your guns. They come in and grab all the guns up like they did in Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to go out and do something, you still have that ability. You have that hate in your heart. You can go grab a rock, a hammer, whatever it is like that. We can't start banning everything because a few bad people out there make bad decisions. And does that mean that we have this huge escalation or spike in gun violence right now? I don't really think so. I think everything's pretty much the same as it's always been since there's been guns around. The fact is that we have social media now, and the mainstream media is so liberal, they like to harp on that. They like to shove the racism stories,
that is correct.
The gun violence.
Because you can look at the FBI's own numbers, and while we have varying degrees of handgun violence for various reasons, whether it's self-defense or police shootings or whatever else, whether it be justified or unjustified, things as far as rifles are concerned, especially military style, and I quote, style rifles, are used in a very statistically low number of crimes. Yes, they are very high-profile crimes. Those are ones you always hear about, but especially a fully automatic rifle, you are more likely to be beaten to death with a hammer than you are to be killed with a fully automatic rifle.
Oh, yeah, people are bludgeoned to death all the time. Someone comes to the park, beats them over the head with something like that. I mean, like I said, if somebody wants to do something, they'll do that. So let's shift on to something else. You've been here for how long now, Jakari?
It has been 3.5 years. It is so strange to say that this is the longest I've had any job. And to be here 3.5 years, it kind of flew by, because I won the, I don't want to, I hate telling this story because
I'm not trying to brag or anything.
Yeah, I'm not trying to brag. I'll lowball it 50,000 times. Yeah, I was in the Infowars reporter contest along with David Knight, and Josh was in there as well. And they liked my stuff well enough to bring me out here, and been working for the past 3 years. And when I first started, it wasn't, I mean, I guess it always was, kind of hectic as far as, the travel schedule and stuff like that, but I wasn't traveling as much back in those days. I know in the time you've been here, you've dwarfed me by days on the road, but I spent more time in the streets back in my first and second year. Now I do more editing, more in-house kind of stuff, which I enjoy doing. I did the piece that you guys have watched during the Money Bomb with David Knight, where he narrates kind of the history of Infowars, and that's a great piece to be able to work on with David. And so, yeah, that's what I do.
So since you've been here, Jakari Jackson, because everybody out there wants to know, what has been your favorite trip thus far since being here? Your favorite story you've covered, and then maybe your favorite video you've put together. Maybe not per se something that has to do with you, but a piece like you did earlier for Infowars.
Actually, well, to start with the piece that we just aired, and we've been airing with David Knight, that is the most difficult thing I've made in my time here. And it was difficult. Well, I had the great voiceover from David Knight, but it's a very layered thing, and I've gotten better with my edits over time. I mean, I'm not gonna go through the whole chronology of it, but I think it was a layered, almost like 3-act structure kind of report where you had changes in music, David's vocal tones, and I tried to go through the whole deal. Of course, we started with the clips of Alex, trying to set the tone so everybody can see how this organization has grown. And you go back to that first shot of Alex sitting in a studio with cassettes behind him, and now he's sitting in this amazing facility with all this equipment and the great crew and all that. But not to go off on that, my favorite trip I have to say is without a doubt Charleston. And that was...
And you want to move to Charleston now, in the sense like that's a place that would be on your list one day to go to.
Of many places I've been around the country, and I've been to a lot of places, the only 2 places I went and I was like, I could actually live here, were San Diego and Charleston, South Carolina. And I can't afford to live in San Diego. So Charleston is much, much higher on the list. Actually, I have a sweatshirt back there I bought in Charleston that says Charleston Cougars. I love Charleston, and bad Cougars not bad every now and again. So I have that shirt. So I love Charleston, and for me it was very refreshing to do something, because we've been to a lot of very hectic situations, and Charleston was too, because of course you had the shooting at the church there, but it was so inspiring to me, not just trying to explain this to the viewer, but to me, it was very good to see people react to it in a very positive way. You know, you had this guy who was trying to spark up a race war, and the people of Charleston said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to riot. The worst thing that happened while I was out there was the statue got spray painted. And then we go across the bridge, which is a very long bridge. I think it's one of the third largest in the nation for that type of bridge. And we were driving across it, and Matt and I, my photographer, you know, when they first announced, I was like, man, this is a really, really long bridge. I don't know if they're going to get people to stretch all the way across. But, man, when I got out there, it wasn't like people in a straight line. It was like groups of people stretched all the way across this huge bridge, holding hands, black, white, young, old. It didn't matter. It wasn't about that. It was about a sense of unity. So that would be my favorite trip I've been on. My favorite story that I personally covered, it really had very little to do with me. It goes back to, it was my first few months here at Infowars. I was out with another reporter. This is actually how I met Michael Cargill, one of our friends of the show, Central Texas Gunworks. And myself and Melissa Melson, who was here at the time, we go down to San Antonio, and it was a school that was trying to chip the kids with RFID tags. And, you know, various reasons. I mean, my primary reason would probably be safety concerns, because any pedophile could hack into this and track the kids down. But they said they had to have it and all this stuff. But basically, long story short, it wasn't just us. Catherine Albrecht and many other people got involved, but it got enough attention that they dropped the issue. And it was very positive to me to see, because everybody said, well, you guys do all this stuff and nothing ever happens. No, something happened there, you know, where you could, and it wasn't just some big movement. It was something that affected people on a very personal level. And as far as favorite thing I've edited,
well, think about it real quick for a second. Let's take a call real quick. I want to go to, let me see, who's been holding the longest? Matt in Minnesota. Matt, you said you have a personal experience at boot camp / 9/11. Matt, you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can. Jakari and Jackson and I are right here listening. What do you got?
Well, when I signed up for the Army, it was the morning of 9/11 that my girlfriend called me and woke me up and said, check out the news. And that was the day that I was supposed to leave for boot camp. But when I got in, it wasn't about racism or anything like that. The drill sergeant drilled it into our heads. And this is what I wanted to say to the listeners. They drilled it into our heads that everyone is green.
Yeah, we all bleed green.
And the people in front of you, beside you, behind you, everything, it doesn't matter what color they are. We're all green. And it mattered what they did. I mean, there was instances, and I'm sure every guy that went to the military could have stories of boot camp where, you know, some idiot turns their gun on the drill sergeant or something like that, and the drill sergeants jump all over him. But my biggest thing is, when it comes to racism, is in the end, that's what it is. We're all green. We're all human. It has nothing to do with color of your skin.
Yeah, we all bleed the same, and it's the same thing. Yeah, when you're in the military, they say we're all green. Respect the person for their character to the left of you, to the right of you, because when the bullets fly, it doesn't matter if you're racist, it doesn't matter if you're a Christian, it doesn't matter if you're an atheist whatsoever. You're depending on that human being to your left, to your right, to your front, to your behind you, to have your back as a human being, as a fellow person who wants to live and have a successful life just as you. So thank you for your call, Matt. I want to go to Bregan in Wisconsin. Bregan in Wisconsin wants to donate something for us. You have a T-shirt signed by Bill Burr. That is one of my favorite comedians. So tell us what you got there, Bregan.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Roger that, loud and clear, coming in on the Infowars Money Bomb transmission.
Thank you. I couldn't figure out how to turn off speakerphone. Sorry about that. I do have a T-shirt that was signed by Bill Burr back about 2.5 years ago. It came into my restaurant, and I had been at a show with my girlfriend, who is a secret fan of Infowars, though she won't admit it. But and also Bill Burr was as well. And I said, hey, I got this vintage T-shirt. It's a red Defend Freedom, a totally out of print T-shirt. And I said, do you like Alex? And he goes, yeah, but if I sign this, do I get put on a list? and so he signed it. Says to Alex, Bill Burr, and I'm going to send it to Michelle. And I already got the address.
Oh, great!
And
that's awesome.
Also, if there are other Wisconsinites who are anywhere near the Madison area and feel that they're underrepresented in the Infowars mindset, they can always stop into my restaurant, which I'm not going to name on air, but if you look up the name Bregan, Bregan, you'll probably find it. And then also, so I was out at Chantilly. I walked up with Joe Bannister from the IRS Insider, and had a good conversation with Alex and crew. And I was actually there covering the event of Bilderberg 2012 with Joe Tucker.
Awesome. That's
Jim
awesome.
Tucker, I'm sorry. And if there's a way that people on the street could actually do their own filming, submit it to you with a microphone cube. And
well, we
then
encourage anybody to send us tips. You can send us show tips at Infowars.com.
And also, if you put up videos, put them on your own YouTube account. And when you email us at show tips, put the link in there to the video. And if it's something
because we regularly do, people send us something, and it could just be an iPhone video. If it's something interesting, we'll definitely take a look at it.
All right, thanks, Bregan. We appreciate your phone call. We're going to take one more call really quick, and then Jakari Jackson and I will get back to our conversation. We'll have a break and go to a video that I have up that hits near and dear to my heart. Something that has to do with Michael Hastings and car hacking. So let's go ahead and take a call really quick from Carol in Pennsylvania. Carol says she wants to talk about the money bomb and that she loves Joe Biggs and Jakari. So, Carol, you're on the air. What do you got to say?
Joe, this is Joe.
That's me. I'm Joe Biggs, the one and only.
Joe, oh my God. You're my hero, Joe. Oh, my God. How are you?
I'm pretty fantastic. I'm sitting down hosting the Infowars Money Bomb. Life couldn't get any better.
Oh my God!
And I got Jakari Jackson sitting right beside me. I got Jakari Jackson sitting right beside me too. Show him a little love.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, Jakari, you're so hot too. Anyway, so Joe. There you go. That's for you, Joe.
All right, so thank you. So, do you have a question for us?
Guys, write that time down. I'm gonna get that clip.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe, let me tell you something. Now picture it. I was a little kid back in 1979, 8 years old. You know what? When John Paul II came to Philly, all the hell was the Poland bill, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there was no big lockdown in Philly like they have now. What in the hell was going on with that, you know? That's my big question, you know?
What's with the security measures?
Yes, I mean, it's a big lockdown. I mean, not in 1979, they didn't do that, you know?
Well, a lot of it's publicity stunt, because I remember before I worked at this job, I had a kind of part-time gig at a radio station. I did traffic updates, and this is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the second largest city in Oklahoma, but that's really not saying much. And one day, Joe Biden came through town, and they locked down the streets and, shut down the highways and stuff, and people kept calling the traffic line, like, what's going on? What's going on? It's like, Joe Biden's in town. And people say, who the hell is Joe Biden? But it's just like this security theater. They want to feel important. And maybe, I don't know, maybe the Pope has, some enemies or whatever, but by and large, it's a big dog and pony show.
I mean, it's ridiculous. If you got someone who's pregnant trying to get to the hospital, you've got someone who's diabetic, they need to go home and get a shot. It's ridiculous when they do stuff like that. And like you said, at the end of the day, it's probably a dog and pony show. They're doing this so they feel special when they go on and they watch the nightly news or some late night comedy show, and it shows their caravan going through, that they feel all hot to trot. Do you have any other questions for us, Carol, you'd like to talk to you while you have us on the line for the next few minutes?
What's more thing special? It's like the lockdowns. Like, when I was a kid, really, it's just the Pope coming through Philly. There's no lockdown. People can't go They can walk 2 miles to get to their house. You know, I'm telling you, it's going to be a big. It's going to be nasty in Philly, and I will send you updates.
Well, roger that. We appreciate that here in the Info War. Speaking of the Info War, things are motivating here in the Info War. We're having a great broadcast. We're going on quite a few hours. It is 2:25 a.m. Central Standard Time, which means we got 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 11:30. We got a long time to go. We got about 14.
We got
15.
A lot of hours.
We got about 15 more hours to go. Hey, can you guys tell me or show me up on the computer where are we at as far as donations at this point in time? Do you guys know?
Yeah, that's 400.
Oh, there we go. $457,000 or yeah, 457,515 so far. So we're almost halfway there. So you guys are helping out a hell of a lot, man. Calling in, showing your support for what we've got going on. Just like we said earlier when we're talking about the mainstream media, these guys really are puppets. They read teleprompters. We're sitting here right now. I don't have a teleprompter.
No teleprompter.
I've got.
Yeah, because we have guests in, even some famous guests, and they come in and they're kind of secretly looking for the teleprompter. Like, no, we have screens to tell us what the articles are, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I don't think after being at a place like this, the freedom I have, Infowars is freedom. We have the freedom to do the stuff that we want to do, to cover the stories we want to have. We have the ability to pitch them, and within 24 hours, we're going to have like Alex, Rob Dew, Buckley, somebody coming in and going, hey, man, go for it. Go. Get the car. Go get the hotel. Go out there. Get us covered. You're going to be live on the radio show tomorrow. Talk about it. Get some information. Find out what's going on. And it's always interesting that when we get out here to these situations, my favorite thing to do is to turn on Fox News or CNN from my phone and see what they're saying based off what we're seeing boots on the ground.
Right.
And it's always completely and totally opposite.
Yeah, just like you told that story I heard you talk about when we went out to Ferguson, they were shooting the tear gas. And that's kind of a funny story because I got tear gas real bad. My eyes were like completely swollen.
Yeah, I'll never forget that moment because we're sitting right there behind the fire truck, and you look at me, it's like, "Hey, bro, I don't know how much more I can take this," and you got snot dripping down, and your face is swollen.
This was live. You guys go pull up that video.
Yeah, it's on the Ustream now. It shows live Ustream.
You guys go watch it. But anyway, and then we ran like 3 miles in the rain. And then we got back, and I was like, man, I'm just ready to go. And Biggs just like, he just like stomped up to the CNN guy. And like one of the best clips you'll never see on CNN. I guess they're on commercial break or whatever. And Biggs walks up, start cussing at the CNN. He's like, you guys are the Coward News Network, and blah, blah, blah. And it's funny because there's another journalist out there. I don't know if you remember this, Biggs, so you're yelling at CNN. But he came back, and he was out in the crowd like we were. And he's like, yeah, I was trying to tell them that they were shooting tear gas, but nobody believed. But like we had the physical effects, we had the tear gas canisters, we had it all. And then by the time we get back to the hotel, seeing this, we have an addendum to the story that we brought you earlier. You know,
of course, because you have to go out there. There you have it. There is the canister that we found out there.
One of the canisters.
Yeah, one of them. And then they were also shooting those wooden.
Yeah, they had wooden bullets. They had rubber bullets.
But they weren't like bullets. They were those round disc type things. Remember, they were like real thick.
Yeah.
Like a big
like
wooden
cork.
pellet or something.
Like big cork.
Like that would have, if that hit you in the temple or something, number one, it could either kill you, you're going to be cross-eyed for the rest of your life and be, something's going to happen. You're going to be knocked unconscious, life-threatening injuries.
But long story short, had we not been there or people like us, that story may have never got told because what you normally hear, well, some people in the crowd say that they were shooting. Like, no, I don't have to say that some people said I was there. I knew that it happened.
Now, can somebody go in the big studio and grab me the 2 guitars that we will be auctioning off on eBay? I want to show them to everybody really quick so we can talk about them. There's a guitar signed by Jimmy Vaughn, and then also a guitar that has been signed by everyone here in the crew. And that's something that's going to be on eBay. You can go to Infowars.com. You can click on the money bomb, and it'll show you all the different stuff that we are auctioning off. Also, if you go to Infowars.com, it's one of the top stories on there as well. Under the red link where it says live, I think it says eBay auction items as well right there.
And you can see many items that we have, like Joe Biggs said. We have the guitars. We also have original art by Alex, which is climbing up there as far as the price. So you want to get your bid in right now while you
Now, for a lot of people who didn't, I don't know if everyone saw the episode when you guys went and did the Black Lives Matter thing at the abortion clinic. Here we go.
Here we go. I'll hold one.
You were out there, and Alex came out, and some guy came and ripped the microphone out of his hand and ripped the cord, and that is actually one of the items that we have up for auction, right?
Yeah, the communist vampire abortion-loving trash can dwellers slid over a dumpster. I know this sounds insane. If you don't believe what I'm saying, go watch the video. All this actually happened. And then they came and attacked Alex. They were pushing old men into the streets. They yelled at David Knight's wife. And then one guy tried to pick a fight with us. And then when he realized we weren't backing down, he took off running, snatched the microphone, and then we got the epic footage of him slithering.
All right, so this is a Jackson electric guitar. I am not really musical savvy when it comes to guitars, so I can't really give you a background.
Marcos, tell us how awesome this guitar is.
Well, we got Marcos Morales in the studio right now.
Rockstar. Where you at?
Coming over there. So Marcos Morales is one of our nightly news producers. He is a rock star himself. He plays in a metal band. Really good stuff. Now, the guitar he's holding is a Jackson electric guitar. It is signed by everyone from Alex Jones on down to the graphics guys, everybody who works in here,
and
who busts their butt every day to make this show happen. That's what it is. So tell us about the guitar.
I would totally play this for metal. This is as Joe said, I'm a metalhead. Totally would pull this out, play it, be proud of it. Kind of ruined the paint job with all these silly
we got Alex Jones' names on it all over.
So now we have, over here is another item that's up for auction. Now this is a Fender Stratoliner.
Signed by Jimmy Vaughn.
Stratocaster, my bad.
Stratocaster, let me take over here. Oh, okay. Please.
Tell
us your ways,
if
Marcos.
You would showcase the gorgeous tobacco burst Fender Strat here. Jimmy Vaughn.
And in case you don't know who that is, go ahead and tell us who that is.
Legendary Texan, the Vaughn family, the Vaughn boys almost took over the world with their sound that, I don't know what you would call it.
Super awesome.
Super awesome. And Jimmy Vaughn listens to the show.
Awesome.
He knows what's up.
Very good, gentlemen.
We also have a Arrow signed by Ted Nugent as well. Here's this guitar back. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
So if you guys want to pull that up and show it as well, we have a Arrow signed by Ted Nugent along with some stickers and some guitar picks as well. These are some items that he has donated.
Microphones, a bunch of different stuff.
So before we go, it's 2:32 a.m. We're going to take a break. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go into a video. It's called Someone Dies at the End. It is a video about car hacking, and it kind of added the element of Michael Hastings, which was a great friend of mine. Back in 2008, we met in Afghanistan. He wrote about me in his book, The Operators, in one of his chapters. He put me in numerous articles that he wrote for, and all around one of the greatest people I've ever known and a fantastic journalist. And he died. His car blew up, about 4:32 in the morning driving down the road in Hollywood. So this is kind of a video talking about the possibilities of car hacking. Let's go to this video. Someone dies at the end. Joe Biggs here with Infowars.com. Now, back in 2011, we wrote an article here at Infowars talking about the Progressive Auto Insurance dongle, the Snapshot. Now, what that is a device you plug into your car that allows Progressive to see whether or not you are a safe driver. It monitors your speed, your braking habits, all of that good stuff, and it sends the information back to them and lets them know if they should lower your insurance or not. Well, here we are, 2015, and we now know, based off of Forbes and the Hacker News, that this is a device that can be easily hacked into. They can stop your brakes, accelerate your car, and do pretty much whatever. Now, we all know the incident that happened with my friend Michael Hastings, where his car just shot down the road, exploded, hit a tree. This is something that we live in now, a digital age. We are now at a point where almost every car is able to be hacked into because we have these computer systems inside it. Now they're trying to get you to plug a device into your car that will actually allow hackers to get into it. So just a few days after Michael Hastings died, I received in the mail from Progressive Auto Insurance, because that's who I had at the time, was this box that said the Snapshot. Open it up and it says plug it in your car and get your insurance rate lowered. Well, I threw that away because I was disgusted by the fact of what just happened to my friend. I didn't trust anything being put into my car. But wonder what would happen if I hadn't thrown that away and I actually plugged that device into my car.
Hey, what you
hello.
looking at?
What's going on?
Well, you look like you're here to save some money on your car insurance.
Yeah, I don't know what I should get. I was checking the snapshot thing out. What do you mean? What do you know about it?
Well, basically, you just need to agree to let us track all of your movements. This will just easily plug into your car. We'll track your movements, upload it online. Probably the cloud will be really helpful, so we can just kind of see if you're a safe driver.
Well, I saw in a Forbes article that these things could be hacked. Do you know anything about that?
Forbes? Huh, I don't think so.
Is it safe?
Very safe and effective.
Well, I guess I'll go with this. It seems like a good thing to try.
You're making the right decision.
Sweet.
And sure enough, he had a big story on CIA corruption coming out. He was in contact with WikiLeaks and was about to do a big data dump. And the official WikiLeaks has come out and said they talked to him 1 hour before his car blew up. And he said, the FBI's after me. They're investigating me. We've got to hurry up and get this done. Well, they got you done. And the police instantly said no foul play, which is always suspicious. The engine got blown down the road. Witnesses said the car caught on fire and blew up driving down the street.
Yes, I have the target now. No, it isn't the ringleader. It's codename Little Biggs. Yes, the target is in a vehicle. Do I have the go-ahead to terminate? Roger, standing by for clearance. Roger that. Termination is a go. Cutting brakes. Disabling airbags. Accelerating car to a high speed. The target is no longer a threat. One down, 5 to go.
I don't need to tell station owners, managers, and program directors that the American people are more upset and more politically awake than they've ever been. That's why Donald Trump, even if you love him or hate him, is so popular. Because he's not reading off a teleprompter, he's not mincing words. And that's the reason that Infowars and my syndicated radio broadcast over the last 20 years has exponentially grown. We now reach, not just in the United States, but across the world, 20 million people at least every single week. And in 2015 and 2016, I want to double that number to 40 million people, promoting a message of basic liberty and freedom that made this republic, the United States of America, the model of a free and prosperous nation worldwide. I'm a libertarian broadcaster. I wear my bias to tell the truth and to promote free market entrepreneurial liberty on my sleeve. Let me share with you another key point. Infowars has a giant grassroots audience in every town and city in this nation, and they will loyally tune in to your broadcast or to your cable channel and will tell their neighborhoods, their coworkers, their friends and families about the broadcast. And so will we. We intend to promote channels that we're on a daily basis so we can push our giant internet, AM and FM audience to your local TV station. In closing, let me tell you why I'm doing this. I already do 4 hours of radio a day. I already have internet, online news. I already have websites that dominate not just alternative media, but mainstream media. Why would I want to then launch the next level and put this programming on satellite? It's because it's my responsibility. I must, like my forebears did, like your forebears did, reach out, trailblaze, expand, and defend this republic. I don't want to be, to quote Braveheart, many years from now, lying at home in my bed, wishing that I would have taken action against the unraveling of our freedoms. I'm making a stand. And I know that many station owners, managers, and program directors care about this country as well and want to shake up the dialogue and get people talking to create a grassroots movement of liberals and conservatives and libertarians to come together and celebrate America and what made us great again. That's why I'm really doing this, because it's my responsibility, but also because I got a file in there of over 100 cable channels that have contacted me the last few years saying, please put it on satellite, please close caption it, please package it so we can carry it. And just since we turned on the satellite a few weeks ago, we already have more than 10 affiliates that are carrying the show. 3 cable systems and 7 UHF VHF stations. One of them is on basic cable and is a decades-old news and information channel in Houston, and they're getting a great response.
Yes, the feedback that I hear is, of course, it's refreshing for the simple reason it is totally different. And again, as I stated, they get a perspective from Infowars that they do not get anywhere else. And for that, it's a very popular show on our network, or a very popular channel, I should say, because it's a 24-hour channel on our network. And it has a tremendous effect because people can't get this type of information from any of our other 250, 300 channels that we carry on our network. Should be on everybody's cable television network.
Pick up Infowars today. Whether you carry it on the weekend for 2 hours or whether you carry our entire lineup, we welcome you to visit Infowars.com/affiliates or to call the phone number on the site, and one of our representatives from the Infowars News Center in Austin, Texas, will get back with you. Infowars Live, the 4-hour radio/TV show, is absolutely free to air, and so is Infowars Nightly News. You're even free to take excerpts of it for your own news programming. It's absolutely free to air. All we ask is that you not edit the pieces themselves. So you can take it in part or in whole, whatever you want. We just simply want to get the word out to the people and are very appreciative for you taking out the time to look at this information.
And welcome back to the Infowars Money Bomb 2015. I'm your host, Joe Biggs, with Jakari Jackson riding shotgun. Now, before we get into some things, I want to go to a caller he's been holding for quite some time. Get some in North Carolina. Once you have him up, we'll go to him and see what he has to say. He apparently wants to talk about race wars. But until we get him up, we'll continue to talk about some of these great... Get some in North Carolina. Are you there? Oh, he just dropped. Well,
wow.
Anyways.
That was epic.
Waited an hour and then dropped the call.
Man, he must have hit the wrong button on his phone.
Yeah. If you're just now joining us, this is the Infowars Money Bomb. We did a 28-hour, we're still going through this process.
Yes.
A 28-hour long broadcast. And we're doing this to raise money to help further our reach. Our goal is to reach $1 million to reach 400 million people across the globe. We're not just here representing America. We're representing the freedoms and liberties of people all around the world. There's a large fan base all over the globe. I mean, we just had guys at Bilderberg in Austria, and people knew who Rob Dew was and stuff like that. I mean, that's just amazing.
Hey, good news. Get Some was able to call back in.
Get Some just called back. All right, so we're going to go to him. Get Some in North Carolina. You want to talk about race wars. What do you have for us? All right.
Get some, you will eventually.
All right, get some in North Carolina. There you are. You said you want to talk about race wars. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm on the border between North Carolina and Virginia.
Okay.
And we've had serious police state problems since 1492, kind of like. So I've been noticing with the younger crowd, especially when Larry was talking about, the history of the movement of civil rights and that, is that these young folks look back on what they did, and they ain't too enthusiastic about getting fed to dogs and, shot, police brutality. And so they see Christianity as like what Martin Luther King did as a hindrance to the movement.
Well, you have all type of people who have different views and opinions. Like, I've been out to the crowds and seen some of the people say, like, the nonviolent protesting isn't the proper way to go. And I mean, it's at the end of the day, I've noticed a lot of the people who actually call for the violence, and I'll let you get back to your point and get some, but a lot of the people who call for the violence aren't actually the people who go out there and do it. Like we go out to Ferguson, somebody's out there, let's burn down the police station. And then the crowd's standing there ready, oh, let's go burn it down. Then the guy goes home and watches on CNN. You know, these are the type of people, just like the people saying they want to have a race war with the police. They're a bunch of blowhards who are on Twitter, on YouTube, on their radio stations, talking about let's go fight the cops and hoping somebody else goes out and does it for them.
Yeah, I see where you're saying everybody's got their own opinion. But I'm speaking as a whole here for the young people, is that they're ready to do the thing.
So you think there's gonna be a race war, and that's what the young people want, or it is propaganda hard at work being pushed by the mainstream media to incite that hatred and violence? That's what we've got to get through. That's why we have to promote Infowars and get it out there so young people can actually open their mind and see what's really going on, see the fact that the mainstream media is lying to them and getting them angry to have this race war that they would like to have so they can impose different things, just like what the 9/11 did with the TSA and all that and the police state that we have now and surveillance state. I don't think a lot of these young people really want that. I just think that we live in a society now that's so controlled by TV. Kids don't go out and work out as much as they used to anymore. They come off, they get off school, they go home, they turn on TV, and if it's on the TV, then that's what they believe, and they figure that's what they're supposed to do. That's the mission, and that's what's being pushed. That's the narrative, is that there's this hatred between whites and blacks. I mean, for crying out loud, MTV had a show about white privilege or whatever. You know, I mean,
yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
But, I mean, I don't really think it's the young crowd. I think they're being manipulated, and I think that's the plan. That's what the government wants at the end of the day. What do you think?
People who have got shot here recently.
Do what now?
I say, you remember that Kentucky cop that just got shot here recently? State highway patrolman, rookie.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, I think he was a good cop, trying to help dude out, you know, finding them girls a place to go. Why, you know, he was probably going to get locked up, but his passengers weren't. Now, he came from Florissant. Y'all was right there. And you guys should know that police department and the courts are policing for profit. And I keep trying to tell folks, you know, they really don't understand what it's like inside the prison system or the jail. It's horrible.
Well, I'm not making any excuses for the cops out there in Ferguson, Missouri. Not one bit.
Well, see, their problems become our problems. Because when you try to run from a problem, you're bringing it with you. You get pulled over by a cop, and you're like, look, I ain't going to jail. I'm going to go ahead and risk blasting somebody or being violent.
Yeah, if you run from problems, they're always going to follow you. I mean, regardless of what happens, you have to learn to stand up. You have to face the consequences and move on as an adult. That's what we have to do. Thank you for your call. Get some in North Carolina. Now, before we go any further, if you would like to call in and donate money to the Money Bomb to help further our reach to 400 million people, the number is 888-253-3139. And if you would like to call in and talk to myself and Jakari Jackson or any other guests throughout the night, or morning, I should say, the number is 512-646-1776. Now, I thought it was kind of interesting what he's talking about, how, you know, the police they're corrupt, they're trying to make money. Like there's this quota to make, and that's definitely something that I've always seen. How
there is quotas, yeah.
There's definitely a problem. I mean, that's something we can all agree on. There's definitely a problem with the police as a whole. I don't blame individual cops about stuff. There's a lot of cops out there that are great that I know personally that have their friends and family.
I agree with that.
I think what needs to happen as far as making changes to stop a lot of this is we're taking young kids that have zero to no life experience, and you're giving them a gun and a badge. And that automatically creates this godlike complex where they feel they have the opportunity and the ability or the right to do whatever it is they want, completely disregarding the law that they're supposed to hold us up to while ignoring that law themselves.
Well, I'll go a step further. They don't even know the law themselves.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like they get like a brief overview of kind of a brief, here's a Bill of Rights booklet. You can read it if you want, because you see so many videos where somebody will be quoting the law to the cop. And whether the cop pretends like he doesn't know or legitimately doesn't know, they don't know basic constitutional rights.
Yeah, exactly. We've got to make changes at the lower level with going into the police academy, teaching these guys the right ways to do stuff, making them understand the Constitution, the laws that they're supposed to uphold. just like I have been brought up to fear this gun and not take advantage of it, they need to have that same fear installed in them about the Constitution, that when they took that oath to uphold it and to protect it, that they really mean that, and it's something that they hold near and dear to their heart. Well, it is 2:50 in the morning, and
that went by really quick.
Yeah, it went really quick. So thank you, Jakari Jackson. We're going to go to a report. It is Mind F USA. This is a report put together by Darren McBreen. I think it's about 9 minutes long. It's one of my favorite videos that he's put together. It really talks about the propaganda and media and other things with Edward Bernays and things of that nature. And then coming up after that on the Infowars Money Bomb, I will have up first Ryan Smith of Armed Citizens United and Head Down Rifles. He will be coming in via Skype to talk to me, and we'll talk about some of the issues that he would like to discuss. So let's go ahead and go to that video by Darren McBreen. All right, well, we have just a moment. We'll get it up in just a second while we're waiting. Don't forget, if you go to the Infowars Live store, you can get 20% off of Survival Shield X2, 20% off of Super Male Vitality, 20% off of Brain Force, and 15% off Oxy Powder. All right, so now we're going to throw to that report by Darren McBreen. Sorry, it's getting early in the morning. I'm getting a little tongue twisted. All right, here you go. Hope you guys enjoy.
The author of A Brave New World, he said in an interview back in 1958 that the social engineers of the future, they will figure out a way to enslave us by tricking us and conditioning all of us into thinking that we are actually free. This was also well thought out and researched by the father of propaganda, Edward Bernays, who in his 1928 book, Propaganda, Bernays wrote, "If we understand the mechanisms and motives of the group mind, it is now possible
to control and regiment the masses according to our will without them knowing it."
He called it the engineering of consent and proposed that
those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country.
So are we living in an Orwellian nightmare that was prophesied by the likes of George Orwell, Aldous Huxley, and Edward Bernays? Well, I did some research and I put together some video clips that shows how the globalist mind control has been present in our everyday lives, our entire lives, because the future is now.
If you want to preserve your power indefinitely, you have to get the consent of the ruled. And this they will do partly by drugs, as I foresaw in Brave New World, partly by these new techniques of propaganda. They will do it by bypassing the sort of rational side of man and appealing to his subconscious and his deeper emotions and his physiology even, and so making him actually love his slavery. I mean, I think this is the danger, that actually people may be in some ways happy under the new regime, but they will be happy in a situation where they oughtn't to be happy.
This is the big picture. An official television report to the nation from the United States Army.
Yes, in modern warfare, our military leaders are finding that words and ideas are highly effective weapons. Here, recruits with specialized backgrounds were taught the nature, methods, and techniques of propaganda and its dissemination. Radio presents these facts in any number of ways. Perhaps its most rewarding form of expression is news. For news is ready-made propaganda, and to an enemy denied access to outside information, it's as welcome as food and water. Radio's principal advantage is that it can reach remote areas and reach them quickly. So that one program can be repeated and thereby reach a larger audience, it is often recorded on discs or on tape. The same show can be rebroadcast at convenient times in different areas.
Unfortunately, you've grown up hearing voices that incessantly warn of government as nothing more than some separate, sinister entity that's at the root of all our problems. They'll warn that tyranny is always lurking just around the corner. You should reject these voices.
Public policy could itself become the captive of a scientific, technological elite.
My team and my specialties, information operations and the psychological arm of things, we are trained to deceive if we have to.
If you found out that your public affairs team that was showing you around actually had completed a 40-hour course in psychological operations and was trained in psyops and in military deception, you start to question, hey, is that an appropriate use of that resource?
You shouldn't trust me. In fact, by my actually participating in that, I will taint the news.
They took the babies out of the incubators. Took the incubators and left the children to die on the cold floor.
They had kids in incubators, and they were thrown out of the incubators so that Kuwait could be systematically dismantled.
Go read a book by the father of modern advertising, Edward Bernays, where he calls you a dumb slave and admits they run your whole life. I've read both his major books. One of them's called Propaganda. Edward Bernays.
Psychological warfare operations went into high gear. Our propaganda was beginning to pay off.
There's a global crime syndicate that controls NATO and the major Western governments, and it is using Al-Qaeda to overthrow secular governments.
I also can't see sending my son to fight with Islamic rebels against Christians. I also can't see my son going to fight on the same side as Al-Qaeda.
The people we are fighting today, we funded 20 years ago.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion. It just pancaked.
Well, pancaking almost like a precision implosion.
Everybody get away from the tower. You gotta know the tower that just came down 1013. Where exactly are you, King?
Millions of people are sick and tired of the endless wars, the poverty that is coming, the attacks of our civil liberties.
I don't believe in conspiracy theories. Conspiracies, yes. If I believe it, there's nothing theory about it.
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Meantime, there are questions multiplying today about the mysterious death of award-winning journalist Michael Hastings.
We are also requesting that your team of advisors include a senior officer who is thoroughly experienced in psychological operations.
Psychological warfare was established as a special staff agency. This move had far-reaching results.
Do you consider yourself a Marxist?
Well, I would very definitely say that I am a Marxist. That is correct.
This American citizen, Obama, depends on your next decision.
What if the whole purpose of government was to negate freedom? What if freedom was a myth? What if the Constitution meant nothing to the government? What if everything the government has or owns or controls has been stolen?
It's what we're doing here, and let's not kid about it. We're building a domestic army, and we're shrinking the military because the government is afraid of its own citizens.
This is what we have to look forward to all over the place. Look how quick, within a matter of days, they were able to go into a martial law status here in Ferguson. They have this entire bridge, this road blocked off.
You on the parking lot. This is the St. Louis County Police Department. Disperse now.
They're coming to flank. Joe Biggs got shot with a rubber bullet. Now I'm running down the street. Man, quit shooting at me! Quit shooting at me!
I'm here to warn people. You keep telling me to shut up. This isn't a game.
The answer to 1984 is 1776.
Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our Immune Support Infusion Blend. You will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying a truly great-tasting cup of my favorite coffee. Available at InfoWarsLife.com.